Hello and welcome to Game Grumps vs. the Game Devlog number 3. Today I'll be going over what I accomplished in the month of November, and then after that I'll go over some changes for the future. So in the last devlog video I covered how Dan was made, and now we have both Grumps in the game. This is great, but the game still feels rather void. That's because it's missing sound effects, music, and visual effects. And by visual effects, I mean stuff like smoke, explosions, or any other kind of extra poof or like zap that appears on the screen. Currently that's part of the game that needs to be worked on. But before I started working on that, I wanted to work on improving the gameplay a bit. There were a lot of missing features to the way the Grumps interact with the environment, so that's what I began working on first. In order to solve this problem, I came up with the idea of a dynamic hitbox. Every frame, this hitbox changes depending on the position of the hitbox attached to the moving player. So if they're standing, the hitbox is more vertical. If they're laying down, it's more horizontal. The hitbox made it easy to push a player away from edges. It also made it possible for players to interact with each other in a more Smash-like way. Instead of kind of glitching into each other when you're running at each other, you counter each other's momentum or receive it more depending on what your momentum is. And this also made it possible to add the ability to jump on each other's heads, one of the lesser known features of Super Smash Bros. Another major addition is the wall stage. The one thing not yet implemented into the momentum was bouncing off walls after being hit. And using the dynamic hitbox, once you start falling, you'll be pushed away from the wall so as not to clip into it. With all of this done and working, I released alpha version 1.3, and it was on to working on to the visual effects. Now the way the visual effects in this game is going to work, it will be a bit complicated and technical, and the work I've done doesn't really look like much yet. The reason it's not done yet is because I started taking a break from working on this project around the beginning of December. I'll be coming back in January, and the next devlog will probably be in February. The reason for that is that as short as these things may be, they take quite a bit of effort to make. And when January rolls around, I'd like to get as much work as done as possible on the actual game. But anyways, the reason I haven't been working on this game for the past few weeks is because college is going to be starting sometime next year and I'm going to need to find a job soon. So I began working on finding a job in the game industry. I found a lot of places I could work, and right now I'm working on building a portfolio. While putting together my portfolio, I found myself playing one of my old games that I had kind of forgotten about. The controls were frustratingly bad, but the essence of the gameplay and the atmosphere I found to be extremely enjoyable. This led me to having the idea that I could make a game using the one-drop-bot engine and then combine it with this kind of atmosphere, and it would be really fun. And considering how many tools I've made that I have at my disposal, I could probably get it done in under a week. So that's what I'm planning to do this week. The very day this is coming out, I've already begun working on the game. Hopefully it'll be done by this time next week. Now this is a rather ambitious idea, so it's very possible that it won't get done in under a week. If that's the case, then I'll set it aside so I can start focusing on getting my portfolio complete. I'll then come back and finish it sometime in January. And speaking of January, I'll be working on developing games versus the game every other week instead of the whole month, since it's not really gaining any traction, and I'd like to work on other projects. I also find that I work better that way. Working on and off helps me keep my mind fresh and be motivated to keep working on something. As for what those other projects are, you'll just have to wait and see. A big thanks to my patron Joel Fisk, and thank you for watching.